No matter what happens, keep your priorities aligned, your goals clear, and your heart open to learning. Because in the Momprenista life, it's not just about thriving in business, it's about thriving in life. Welcome back to the Momprenistas Life podcast, where we dive deep into the realities of balancing motherhood with growing a business. I'm your host, Lori Templeton, and today we're talking about something that every mompreneur faces: how to stay on track when life throws you curveballs. I think sometimes women get the idea that cracking this Momprenista code means perfection happens in your life. And let me assure you, that's impossible. Everything we do is relational and revolves around other people. And when you're doing that right, there are going to be hiccups. We all know that despite our best laid plans, the unexpected is just around the corner. But how do we handle these surprises without losing sight of our goals? That is the key to making everything we do successful. And that, mama, is what we're here to explore. Now, I know you've heard me preach about having a system in place so that you're not reacting to everything life throws at you. But you need to realize that just because you have a system, just because you schedule things out and manage tasks well, doesn't mean that life is going to be perfect. Momprenista life doesn't mean having a quaint, perfect little life where, those close to me can attest to the fact that I get wrenches thrown in all the time, right? But my life is planned in such a way that I can prioritize and adapt in order to stay consistent with the most important things that are helping me reach my goals. This is why syncing your life to help crack the Momprenista code matters so much. So if you're spinning your wheels on things that don't matter, that don't help you and your family achieve your goals that align with your divine design, then what you'll find is that you're always going to find yourself just shy of hitting those milestones that you desire. And here's the deal. No one can know except you where you want to go. I think that's something that coaches I hired early on didn't understand. Once I had my life synced, there was very little deviating from it. So when a wrench came, I knew what had to shift focus in order to meet my priorities, right? That shift meant that something had to go on the back burner. And that something was usually my passion projects, which I was enlisting their assistance for. I think they were used to working with people who didn't already have successful businesses that were multi-million-dollar brands, right? And so they were operating off the same boilerplate coaching techniques and not able to adapt to the different needs for their clients like me. So for me, putting something that would generate 250,000 on hold because I was taking another brand to 8 figures didn't really compute to them. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that was the reality that I found, right? But you have to be very clear in your desired direction, or you'll sit stalled out every time, regardless of what that's in. Whether that's running a business, eating healthier, homeschooling your kids, taking a promotion at work, whatever it is, if you're not clear on a direction, you'll go in all the wrong ones. So, what do you do when you get wrenches thrown into your life? First, you look at your sync list and see where your next move is. If you need this training, go to our Momprenista Life Facebook group to see when our next sync method training will be. All right. The system is always in there. We're usually doing trainings live and via Zoom, and this system will absolutely change your life if you let it. But if you don't have your navigational points set and don't understand the cost to achieve those, then wrenches will always throw you off because you won't know where to put your efforts when plans go haywire. The next tip I'm going to give you is a big one. Have a mentor who can see like the 30,000-foot view for you, whether that's a great friend who called you up to be more of who you were created to be, or someone that you're paying. And let me explain what the friend looks like. That's a friend who knows the dirt and still loves you, who's seen the successes and the failures and still believes in you, who knows to ask the hard gauging questions to help you see a different view than you're seeing currently. Let me give you an example from my life with a mentor that I had. I was traveling and speaking and not sure how to financially grow that part of my organization. I was operating on the love offering, just give me whatever donation you would like to make method of business. And so when she asked me why, I said, I didn't know. I thought I was doing ministry, and ministry was supposed to be low cost and free to an extent. She said, Lori, do people tell you that you're good at what you do? I said, yes. She said, what do you say? I said, well, I just thank God for allowing me to be able to do this. She said, okay. Do people tell you that you're changing lives by what you do? I said, yes. She said, okay. How do you reply to them when they say that to you? I said, well, basically the same way. She said, then it's just you and me. Tell me the truth now. Do you think you're good at what you do? Do you think you're uniquely gifted for it? I said, well, yeah, I guess. She said, Lori, the reason you can't grow and you can't scale it financially is because you're operating in false humility. Until you own who you were created to be, realize that what you're able to offer from a stage is part of that, and accept the compliments that people are trying to give you, then you're not going to be able to accept people's money. You think you're walking around being humble when all you're really doing is lying to others and robbing yourself of the gifts that God has for you. You're acting like that because you think it is you being humble, when in actuality, it is you telling God that you don't think you can be who He created you to be. And yeah, you can go ahead and say ouch to that, right? But it was what I needed to hear. And I took action based on what she shared with me. Okay, next tip. Talk candidly with your family to make a plan. If your hustle has to shift, include your kids in the convo so that they understand the stress and what's going to happen. There's going to be overwhelm, but your response to that is what they'll see and what they'll take away for how to handle entrepreneurship when they're older. I talk to each one on their level. Granted, the 2-year-old doesn't fully comprehend, but at least there's a baseline, right? So you have your sync method dialed in, but you're not reacting because your plan to actually step into something already exists. So when the overwhelm comes, you're able to handle it better, and the conversation with your kids will help, and they'll see that reaction, okay? So realize that whatever you're being allowed to go through is going to be an avenue for someone else to borrow courage through your story of overcoming. So don't wallow in it. Figure it out and move forward. God is good, and everything is for your good and His glory. All right. Don't minimize His good and His miraculous glory because of your fear and your mistrust of who He is. This is where the right mentors in your life matters, because they will ask questions to help you figure out where you're not trusting. Okay. Now, facing challenges head on with faith and determination opens the door for personal growth and gives us the strength to inspire others. It's not just about overcoming obstacles, it's about transforming these experiences into stepping stones for others who might be watching or learning from our resilience. So, that's it for today's episode. If you loved what you heard, be sure to follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and join our Facebook group to stay connected. We offer regular sync method trainings that can revolutionize the way you manage life and business. And remember, no matter what happens, keep your priorities aligned, your goals clear, and your heart open to learning. Because in the Momprenista life, it's not just about thriving in business, it's about thriving in life. Until next time, keep cracking the Momprenista code and make your mark. I'll see you guys later. Bye.